So in this tutorial, I'm going to show how to use a citation resource called BibMe, BIBME.org. Being able to properly cite sources is one of the 21st century skills that is being emphasized by the Common Core, things like cite specific text evidence, as well as next generation science standards, where it talks about obtaining, evaluating, communicating information. So, just to show you fresh, it's bibme.org. You can just Google bibme. Now you can use this without an account, or you can make an account, and I'll explain the benefit of making an account a little later. The reason I like bibme is it does a lot of the work for you with this autofill mode. So if you have a book you're going to cite, you can enter the title or the author. So as an example, I have a chemistry textbook. The book is called Chemistry, the Central Science, and I'll try an author first. Theodore L. Brown. See if it comes up. And there it is. Chemistry, the Central Science. Go to select and look at all the information that it fills in for you. Now you always want to emphasize to your students that they need to check this information. For example, I'm using the 10th edition, not the 8th, from 2006. But everything else looks good. My 3 authors here. Scroll down to the bottom and you click Add to My Bibliography. It saves it on the side here. You can see it defaults to MLA format. You can also do APA or Chicago or Turabian. You could do magazines, newspapers, websites. Imagine website is another pretty popular source. So let's say we're looking up hot springs. Causes of hot springs. And there's Wikipedia at the top if I want to find a non-Wikipedia source like this. So Thermal Springs by Andrew Alden. So all you need to do for this is copy the URL or the web address, post, and you can see that BibMe found all this information. Certain things it didn't find, so we're gonna make sure we edit this properly. This looks good. Date created, you definitely want to check date created, because when you're dealing with websites, they can change quite often. It'll either show it usually down at the bottom here, or I would expect it, right about here. But I don't see any date created, so we'll leave that blank. And author, I know I definitely have an author here, Andrew Alden. So I don't know why the website didn't pick up on that, but we'll enter it here. And we'll add that. So now I have my 2 sources. And if I want to do one more, let's look up Wikipedia. Instead of just posting Wikipedia as a source, you can get a lot more detail this way. So again, I'm copying the web address and pasting it into this box. You can see that BibMe found all this information. Now again, the date created is something that you want to focus on, and Wikipedia tends to default to like one day before the present. Not exactly sure why, but for Wikipedia you can check at the very bottom of the page. It says this page was last modified on this date, and that's important for Wikipedia because anyone can edit it. So 23rd of February. I'm going to want to change that. February 23rd. Date access is correct. This looks correct, and no authors for Wikipedia, so we'll add that. So I now have 3 sites here, or 3 sources, and whether you have an account or not, BibMe will actually save all your information, so I can cancel this out and go to BibMe. Even on a later date, you can do the same thing, and it saves it here. Now, to get these onto a document, there's a few options, but a couple of them gave me some problems before. You can go to copy and paste. It says it copied to clipboard, and let me try pasting, and it did come up. I've had a lot of problems with this. Like, for example, if I had the Word document closed and I were to go like this and then open up a Word document and go to paste, it loses it a lot. So if that's not working out for you, you can just do, a manual drag, copy, and paste. That's another way to do it, but sometimes that also gives me trouble. Like it turns it into a URL occasionally. Easiest way to do it is to simply go download to Word. It picks them all up in one, and you can just leave out that little plug at the bottom, copy this, and you can paste the entire thing into your Word document. Now this last step requires a membership, which is free, and it's very easy to set up. You don't even need to confirm in the email or anything, so it should only take about 30 seconds for you to get your students to create an account if you so choose. In this video I'm going to be showing you how to use Newsela, which is a free online resource for looking up articles, current events, and basically any sort of topic you can think of. It's a great tool to differentiate for students based on reading level, because you can take the same article and display it with 4 or 5 different reading levels. So start by going to Newsela. I think it's Newsela, not Newsela. Now you need to create an account for this. It's free, you just need to provide an email. And it does sort of bug you with daily emails, but that feature is easily unsubscribed, which I did that. So you can go to Science, and you can see here just on the main page we have very current articles, interesting articles, and each one of these, you click on it. On the right hand side you can adjust the Lexile level, or the reading level. So this one shows grade level 8, and if you could read the first couple paragraphs here. By working in a brand new way, scientists using NASA's Kepler Space Telescope have found 715 confirmed planets huddling around 305 stars. It nearly triples Kepler's previous total of 246 confirmed planets in the Milky Way galaxy. So that is suggested at reading level 8, which is sort of near the top here. We can scale that down to 770 Lexile, which they then say is grade level 4. And reading that same first paragraph, scientists using the Kepler Space Telescope have found 715 planets outside of our solar system. That nearly doubles the planets scientists know about to around 1,700. Nearly all the new planets are smaller than Neptune. Neptune is 4 times larger than Earth. So it's the same article, just with different reading levels. And if we go up to max, let's see how high this can scale. All the way to grade level 12. So this is a great way you can hold class discussions, debates, that sort of thing, and not have students be impeded by their reading level. If you know you have some students who can read at a 12th grade reading level, or this one is, or 8th grade, you can provide those articles. If you know you have students struggling, you can provide them with a lower Lexile level. Some of these even have quizzes, but it seems most of them don't. And Newsela has some pretty good ways you can search for articles. So it was part of the new literacy standards for Common Core and Next Generation Science standards. We always want to be able to provide different texts for students to analyze and assess the credibility and sort of hold discussions and debates about them. But when we're dealing with kind of the hard sciences, sometimes it's tough to think of ways to do that. So let's say you're studying salt, for example. Let's see what they have for salt. There's a nice article. Icy Mother Nature is eating up salt by the tons. It's relevant. It's from just about a month ago. Especially here in Connecticut. Very relevant. So again, we have this one. It shows grade level 6 as default. We can scale this all the way up to, I think max is always grade 12. And unfortunately, it doesn't provide that many options. Like, it usually jumps from 12 down to like 9. But it's still better than nothing in terms of differentiating an article. And again, it's the same content, just with slightly different lexile level. So another example, if you're in bio, look up DNA, see what's going on with scientists and DNA. DNA detectives get teeth to talk. See what this one's about. So you can see this one starts at grade level 7. Go up a couple grade levels. Grade level 9. Or all the way down to 550, that's pretty low. Grade level 3. Let's see what it says for grade level 3 for DNA. Clues about how people lived can be found in their teeth. A new study looks at the teeth of people who lived 1,000 years ago. Scientists examined their skeletons. Their teeth had a huge amount of information. So this doesn't even mention DNA, but it still gets the same. Oh, it does down here. But it still gets the same same information. Oh, actually, you can see. The machine separates out the DNA. DNA holds the information that tells all living things how to grow and work. Every creature's DNA is different. So that's Newsela. It's a free resource to look up articles and allows you to differentiate them based on reading level. I'll show you how to use Mendeley, which is a free online resource, or application I should say, that will store your PDFs of any sources you want, and you can annotate them and list them as in their citation form. It's a very useful tool. So you need to download Mendeley. So just Google search for Mendeley like that. Enter your name and your email address, and you'll then download it. Once you download it, it'll be in your applications. So here is mine. Now you can see I have all these articles here. When you first start out with it, it will be empty, and you are going to add new files to it using this feature here, import additional documents to the current collection. They have to be in PDF form, and most of the full text that you see from Google Scholar or similar databases are going to be in PDF form. So just as an example, let me go to Google Scholar. Let's look up global warming, and let's say I want this article. PDF is here. So this PDF is now downloaded, and it's already saved in my downloads folder. So minimize this. So in my Mendeley, click on this button here to import an article. Here are my downloads, and this is the article I just downloaded. You can see, just pulled it up 1 minute ago. I'm going to go to open, and it posted it. It's here at the bottom of my list, and you can see all this information that Mendeley went in and pulled out for me. The title, the authors, the journal, even the abstract, URL. So you always want to double check this, because a lot of times it gets the information a little bit wrong. So let me pull that back up and we can compare. Which one did I pull? Acceleration of this one here. And again, right now I'm just comparing the information that Mendeley pulled out of it to the actual information. So it's in Nature, that's correct. My authors are Peter Cox, Richard Betts, Jones, and let's make sure all the authors are here, because you definitely want them all. That is correct. Title looks good. So yeah, this looks like Mendeley pulled all the relevant information. I mean, that's most of the tough part, is pulling all that information out. So that's now listed here, and to access the article, you just double click this, and it'll pull the entire article for me. Now in Mendeley you can highlight by clicking up here. Highlight certain things. If you don't like it, just right click and you can remove them. You can add notes, like here. Let's say I really like this piece of information here. I could put whatever you want to write about it there, and it forms this little icon here, which you can double check later. To get back to your list, you would go here on My Library, and you can actually look up here for just your notes. So the note appears here. So let's say you have 10 sources about a certain topic, and you're like, oh, I remember writing a specific thing about one of these. Well, you can just go to notes and it'll display any notes you wrote for any of these articles. You can actually click on the note right here and it'll take you directly to where your note is. Now the default view here is just a set of columns with author, title, year. If you go to view library as citations, this will show how you would cite these. And if you go to citation style, you can see that American Psychological Association, that's APA, is the default for Mendeley. You can also go MLA here. You can see it changes them up a little bit. I'm going to keep mine as APA though. And when you're ready to cite these or create your bibliography or references section, you just right click, copy as, formatted citation, open up your document, and paste, and there it is. So again, this is Mendeley. It's a free application to hold your PDFs. You can take notes on them, you can cite from there. And the great thing about Mendeley is when you sync like this, it saves all of these PDFs onto a cloud server. So I can actually go to another computer, assuming the computer has Mendeley. I can open up my Mendeley account information, and you can actually pull up all these articles without even downloading them again. And in terms of the space, you're allowed 2 gigabytes of server space, and each of these articles, I'm not sure exactly how much your typical article holds, but like you can see here, I have about 30 articles, and I'm not even remotely close to filling it up. And if you do fill it up, you just have to pay for more server space, but I can't imagine anyone filling up their Mendeley unless you're writing like a PhD dissertation. So this is Mendeley, great resource to hold articles.